Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed how leaving a place, a community, or even a relationship can amplify your value in the eyes of those you left behind? It's a curious phenomenon, isn't it? The moment you step away, your absence begins to rewrite the narrative of who you are. People start to see you in a different light, a brighter one, a more alluring one. The truth is, distance has a strange way of creating allure. It's like a work of art. Sometimes you need to step back to truly appreciate the masterpiece. When you're always around, your presence becomes a part of the scenery. But when you leave, your absence becomes the spotlight, and suddenly everyone is looking your way. There's something about moving away that breaks the ordinary. It challenges people's assumptions about you. It says, I'm not confined by your expectations. I'm bigger than this place, bigger than these limitations. And that's powerful. It's magnetic. Moving away also shows courage. Not everyone has the guts to step into the unknown, to leave behind what's comfortable. When you do, it's like a silent declaration. I'm willing to grow, to take risks, to chase what's out there. And that, my friends, is incredibly attractive. Let's not forget the power of mystery. When you move away, people no longer see your every move, your every flaw. They fill in the blanks, often with the best parts of you. They remember your highlights, your strengths, the things that made you stand out. Distance turns the mundane into something extraordinary. And then there's the transformation. Moving away changes you. It forces you to adapt, to learn, to grow. When you return, you're not the same person who left. You've evolved, and that evolution shines through, making you even more captivating. But maybe the most important reason is this. When you move away, you prioritize yourself. You invest in your dreams, your aspirations, your well-being. And there's nothing more attractive than someone who values themselves enough to choose what's best for their future. The greatest impacts in life are generational. Now think about it. Have you ever wondered why people seem to care more about someone after they leave? It's not just absence making the heart grow fonder. It's the realization that greatness was right there all along. It just took leaving to make them see it. When someone is constantly present, their value often becomes overlooked. Familiarity, as they say, breeds complacency. We take for granted the things, people, and moments that are part of our everyday lives because they are always within reach. Their presence becomes woven into the fabric of our routines, and we stop noticing the details that make them special. Absence has a unique ability to highlight what was once overlooked. It shifts perspective and forces us to re-examine what we might have undervalued. Imagine a painting on a wall you pass every day. At first you marvel at its beauty, but over time it blends into the background. Now imagine that painting is suddenly removed. The blank space left behind becomes glaringly obvious, and you begin to recall the details you once admired, but had stopped seeing. The same principle applies to people. When someone moves away or steps out of your immediate world, their absence creates a void that cannot be ignored. This void sparks reflection. You begin to think about the qualities that made them unique, their kindness, their humor, the way they inspired or supported you. These qualities were always there, but it often takes distance to recognize their full impact. But absence also eliminates the distractions of the everyday. When someone is present, it's easy to focus on minor flaws or disagreements. But when they're no longer there, those imperfections fade into the background, leaving only the highlights of who they are. This phenomenon is why people often idealize those who are no longer part of their daily lives. Their memory becomes a collection of the best moments, creating a sense of admiration and longing. Moreover, absence compels us to acknowledge our emotional connections. The routines, conversations, and shared experiences we once considered ordinary now feel extraordinary because they are no longer accessible. We start to realize how much those interactions meant to us. This newfound appreciation can lead to a deeper respect for the person who has moved away, as we finally see the full scope of their value. And so we finally see the full scope of their value. Distance, therefore, acts as a mirror, reflecting back what we may have overlooked. It reminds us that presence is a privilege, not a guarantee, and that the people we care about are far more valuable than we might have initially recognized. Absence, in its silent yet powerful way, teaches us to cherish what we have before it's no longer within reach. When you move away, you challenge the assumptions others have about you in ways that are both profound and transformative. Often, people form opinions about who you are based on the environment you've shared with them. These perceptions are shaped by familiarity, what they've seen, heard, and experienced within the confines of a shared space. But stepping away disrupts this narrative, forcing people to reconsider their understanding of you. In any environment, whether it's a hometown, a workplace, or a social circle, people tend to place you in a metaphorical box. They define you by your past actions, your role in that setting, or the way you fit into the group dynamic. These assumptions can be limiting, boxing you into a version of yourself that may no longer align with who you are or who you aspire to become. Moving away shatters these preconceptions. Liberate. It sends a message that you are not confined by the expectations or definitions others have placed upon you. If I were to ask you, this shift often comes as a surprise to those left behind. When you step into a new environment, you are free to reinvent yourself without the weight of old judgments. You grow, adapt, and evolve in ways that aren't immediately visible to those who knew you before. This transformation forces them to confront the possibility that their understanding of you might have been incomplete or even inaccurate. It's a powerful reminder that people are multidimensional and capable of change. Furthermore, leaving creates a sense of curiosity. People begin to wonder about your reasons for moving, your new experiences, and the path you've chosen. This curiosity leads them to reevaluate their assumptions, often replacing outdated beliefs with newfound respect. The boldness it takes to step away from the familiar and embrace the unknown challenges the notion that you were ever tied to a single place, role, or identity. The act of moving away also highlights your independence. It demonstrates that you're willing to take control of your own story rather than allowing others to dictate it. This defiance of expectation can be inspiring, even humbling, for those who may have underestimated you. By challenging their assumptions, you not only redefine yourself in their eyes, but also encourage them to question their own limitations and perspectives. In doing so, you become a living example of the power of growth and self-determination. Courage is one of the most universally admired qualities. It is the willingness to face fear, uncertainty, or risk in pursuit of something greater. When you move away, you embody this courage in a very tangible way, and it naturally commands respect from those who witness your journey. Not everyone has the bravery to step into the unknown, leave behind familiar comforts, and embrace the challenges that come with starting anew. Build upon your decision to do so sends a powerful message about your character and determination. Leaving the safety of what you know requires a leap of faith. It means abandoning routines, relationships, and the security of familiarity to venture into a space where nothing is guaranteed. This is no small feat. It takes inner strength to choose growth over comfort, and it takes conviction to believe in a vision of your future that others may not yet see. That kind of bravery is inspiring because it reflects a belief in possibilities, a belief that resonates with people on a deep level. When you move away, you face a series of unknowns. New environments, new people, and new expectations all present challenges that can feel overwhelming. Yet choosing to face these obstacles rather than avoiding them showcases a resilience that others can't help but admire. It's not just about the act of moving. It's about embracing the idea that growth often comes from discomfort. You demonstrate that you're willing to take risks for the sake of something meaningful, whether it's personal development, career advancement, or simply finding a new sense of belonging. People respect courage because it is rare. Many individuals choose to stay in their comfort zones, held back by fear of failure, judgment, or uncertainty. When you break free from those constraints, it sets you apart. It shows that you value progress over stagnation, ambition over complacency, and action over hesitation. Your courage serves as a reminder of what's possible when fear doesn't dictate decisions. Furthermore, courage has a ripple effect. Your boldness can inspire others to take risks in their own lives. They may not say it aloud, but seeing you move away and thrive despite the challenges can spark a sense of possibility in their minds. It encourages them to reflect on their own fears and consider what they might achieve if they too chose to act with courage. In this way, your bravery becomes not only a source of respect, but also a catalyst for others to seek their own paths of growth. Furthermore, your bravery becomes not only a source of respect, but also a catalyst for others to seek their own paths of growth. The mystery is one of the most powerful forces of attraction. It captivates the imagination, stirs curiosity, and draws people in. When you move away, you naturally create an aura of mystery, because you are no longer a constant presence in the lives of those who once knew you. This absence leaves room for the unknown, and it's this very unknown that makes you intriguing. When people see you every day, they grow accustomed to your habits, routines, and behaviors. Over time, this familiarity can dull their curiosity about you. But when you leave, they lose that day-to-day access, and suddenly questions begin to arise. Where are you now? What are you doing? How have you changed? These questions spark their imagination, filling the void with possibilities. They start to wonder about the life you're building, the experiences you're having, and the person you're becoming. This is the power. This sense of mystery is heightened by the fact that distance naturally limits information. Unlike before, when they could observe your actions and interactions firsthand, they now rely on sporadic updates or social media glimpses. These fragments often leave much to the imagination, making you seem more complex and multidimensional. People begin to construct a narrative about you, often emphasizing the most interesting or admirable aspects they remember. In their minds, you become larger than life, someone who stepped away to pursue something extraordinary. Mystery also plays on the human tendency to idealize. Without the full picture, people are more likely to focus on your strengths and positive traits. They forget the mundane or imperfect details of your daily interactions and instead remember the moments that stood out, the times you impressed them, made them laugh, or showed kindness. This selective memory enhances your allure, as the absence of complete information allows people to fill in the blanks with their best impressions of you. Moreover, mystery creates a sense of exclusivity. The less people know about you, the more they want to know. It's human nature to desire what feels out of reach, and distance amplifies this dynamic. By being less accessible, you inadvertently make your presence more valuable and sought survivor. People are drawn to the challenge of uncovering the layers of who you are now, which only deepens their interest. In essence, moving away allows you to step out of the ordinary and into the enigmatic. It transforms you from someone familiar into someone fascinating, leaving those who remain behind with a heightened sense of curiosity and admiration for the mystery you've become. Transformation is a powerful force that naturally draws attention and admiration. When you move away, the process of adapting to a new environment, encountering different experiences, and growing beyond your previous self creates a visible and compelling change. This transformation doesn't just alter how you see the world, it reshapes how the world sees you. The act of leaving your familiar surroundings is in itself transformative. It pushes you out of your comfort zone, forcing you to confront challenges you might never have faced otherwise. Whether it's navigating a new city, building relationships with unfamiliar people, or adapting to a different culture, every step requires growth. These experiences teach resilience, adaptability, and problem-solving skills, which inevitably change you. People are magnetized by growth because it symbolizes strength, ambition, and the willingness to evolve. As you transform, your confidence often grows. Stepping into the unknown and overcoming obstacles gives you a sense of accomplishment that radiates outward. This newfound confidence is magnetic. People are drawn to those who exude self-assurance, not because they are perfect, but because they embody the courage to face their imperfections and grow. Confidence rooted in transformation is authentic, and authenticity is always attractive. Confidence rooted in transformation is authentic, and authenticity is always attractive. Transformation also shifts your energy. When you move away and immerse yourself in new opportunities, you begin to align with a higher version of yourself. This alignment creates a sense of purpose and enthusiasm that is contagious. People sense this shift, even from afar. They see the spark of someone who is actively pursuing their goals and thriving in the process. This vitality, this clear sense of direction, is incredibly appealing. Moreover, transformation challenges perceptions. When you return or reconnect with those from your past, they notice the change in you. Perhaps you've gained new skills, adopted fresh perspectives, or developed a deeper sense of self-awareness. This evolution disrupts their old assumptions about you, inviting them to see you in a new and more intriguing light. Transformation acts as proof that you're not stagnant. You're dynamic, capable of growth, and unafraid of reinvention. People are inherently drawn to stories of change and progress because they symbolize possibility. Your transformation becomes a source of inspiration, a living example of what can happen when someone takes risks, embraces challenges, and emerges stronger on the other side. It captivates those around you, encouraging them to reflect on their own potential for growth. Transformation doesn't just change you, it creates a ripple effect, drawing others closer and inspiring them to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery. Self-prioritization is one of the most attractive qualities a person can embody. When you make the conscious decision to prioritize your goals, well-being, and personal growth, you send a clear message about your self-worth and confidence. This act of putting yourself first, particularly when it involves moving away to pursue opportunities, is magnetic because it demonstrates independence, ambition, and a deep sense of purpose. In a world where many people struggle with pleasing others or conforming to societal expectations, choosing to prioritize yourself is a bold statement. It shows that you value your time, energy, and potential enough to invest in your own happiness and success. This is not about selfishness. It's about recognizing that your needs and aspirations matter. People are drawn to individuals who take ownership of their lives, as it reflects a level of maturity and self-respect that is both inspiring and admirable. When you move away to focus on yourself, you create space for growth. This could mean pursuing higher education, advancing your career, exploring a passion, or simply finding clarity in a new environment. This journey of self-discovery and improvement not only benefits you, but also enhances the way others perceive you. People notice when someone is dedicated to becoming the best version of themselves, and they are naturally drawn to that energy. It's a silent yet powerful reminder of what's possible when someone prioritizes their own evolution. Self-prioritization also sets boundaries, which further enhances your attractiveness. When you move away, you're essentially saying, I value my dreams and goals enough to step outside my comfort zone. This boundary reinforces your sense of individuality and communicates that you won't settle for anything less than what aligns with your purpose. People respect those who have the courage to say no to what doesn't serve them, and yes to what does. The right attitude can make the small things. Moreover, self-prioritization fosters confidence. As you work toward your goals and see the progress you're making, you naturally feel more empowered. This confidence radiates outward, making you even more appealing to those around you. Confidence rooted in self-prioritization is genuine because it comes from knowing you are building a life that aligns with your values and aspirations. In a situation you determine positive for yourself, take imperative radiates outward. Ultimately, prioritizing yourself demonstrates a profound understanding of your worth. It shows that you are not afraid to take risks, to grow, and to invest in a future that reflects your highest potential. This courage and commitment make you stand out, drawing people to you not just because of what you do, but because of who you are becoming. James, absence has a unique way of amplifying presence. When you move away, your absence often becomes more noticeable than your presence ever was. It creates a void, and in doing so, it places a metaphorical spotlight on you. Suddenly, the space you once filled becomes a focal point, and people begin to realize just how much of an impact you had. Now, in daily life, it's easy for your presence to blend into the background. When you're always there, at the office, in the community, or within a social circle, your contributions can be taken for granted. People grow accustomed to your reliability, your energy, and the unique qualities you bring to the table. But when you're no longer there, the absence of those qualities becomes glaringly obvious. The value you bring to the table comes at the expense of your clients. The experience of clients unmatched, it's as if the stage has been set and the spotlight is now shining on the space where you once stood. Famously said, mastering the alpha. This dynamic is rooted in human nature. We often don't appreciate something fully until it's no longer within reach. When you move away, the everyday interactions that seemed routine, your laughter, your advice, your presence, suddenly take on greater significance. People begin to reflect on the role you played in their lives, and they realize the value you brought to their world. Your absence also encourages people to focus on the positives. Without the immediacy of daily interactions, minor flaws or disagreements fade into the background. Instead, people remember your strengths, your contributions, and the ways you made a difference. This selective memory enhances their perception of you, casting you in an even more favorable light. Moreover, absence creates a sense of intrigue. When you're no longer present, people naturally wonder what you're doing, how you're growing, and what new experiences you're having. This curiosity keeps you in their thoughts, often more vividly than when you were physically present. The spotlight of absence doesn't just highlight who you were, it also draws attention to the person you're becoming. Absence also serves as a reminder of connection. People often don't realize how much they value someone until they're no longer there. The void left by your departure forces them to acknowledge the role you played in their lives, and this realization deepens their respect and admiration for you. Ultimately, your absence becomes more than just a void. It transforms into a presence of its own. It magnifies your impact, reshapes how people perceive you, and ensures that you're remembered, not as someone who left, but as someone who mattered. Greatness is often clearest when seen through the lens of retrospect. When someone moves away or is no longer a part of our immediate lives, their contributions, qualities, and impact come into sharper focus. This phenomenon occurs because distance and time provide a perspective that proximity and familiarity sometimes obscure. You may think of yourself as a lone wolf, or perhaps as isolated from society, but interpersonal situations sometimes obscure. When someone is present, it's easy to overlook their unique value. Their actions, advice, or support might seem routine or even expected. However, when they're no longer there, the gap they leave behind highlights everything they brought to the table. It's in their absence that we begin to recognize the subtle ways they enriched our lives. Perhaps it was their ability to lighten the mood, their wisdom in times of uncertainty, or simply their reliable presence. How can you be more grateful for the presence they bring to the future? How can you be more grateful for the presence? How these qualities, once taken for granted, become undeniable markers of their greatness when viewed in hindsight. Retrospect allows us to reassess moments and interactions with a deeper understanding. In the rush of daily life, it's easy to focus on minor flaws or disagreements, but distance shifts our attention to the bigger picture. The qualities that truly define the person, their integrity, their kindness, their drive, come to the forefront. Their imperfections fade into the background, replaced by an appreciation of the ways they stood out. The second way they stood out. This shift in perception is amplified by the human tendency to idealize the past. As we reflect on someone who has moved away, we often highlight their best qualities and downplay the less favorable ones. We remember the times they inspired us, the moments they were there when it mattered most, and the achievements that set them apart. In doing so, we construct a narrative of their greatness, one that might not have been as apparent when they were close by. Distance also invites reflection on missed opportunities. We think about the conversations we could have had, the gratitude we could have expressed, or the moments we could have shared. These realizations add depth to our perception of their greatness as we begin to see not just what they were, but what they could have been in our lives. In retrospect, greatness often feels larger than life because it's no longer tied to the mundane details of everyday existence. It becomes a legacy, a series of impactful moments and traits that continue to resonate even in their absence. Through this process, we come to understand that greatness isn't always loud or obvious. It's often revealed, quietly but powerfully, when we take the time to look back. Footnote. In the end, moving away is not just a physical act. It's a catalyst for change, growth, and deeper connections. Absence doesn't diminish your presence, it amplifies it, turning what might have been overlooked into something profoundly appreciated. The courage to step away highlights your independence, the transformations you undergo magnetize others, and the mystery you create draws them closer in thought. Self-prioritization becomes a beacon of confidence and purpose, and your absence becomes a spotlight that showcases your value in ways that proximity never could. Through the lens of distance and retrospect, your greatness becomes undeniable, inspiring admiration, curiosity, and respect. It is in stepping away that you remind others, and perhaps even yourself, of the impact, influence, and individuality you bring to the world. Sometimes, it's in moving away that you truly become seen.